All right. Well,
All right.
what are we going to move on to now? Let's do the unsolved mysteries just to make
Yes.
sure we don't fucking forget about it.
No.
That scares
Are we skipping ahead or is that no? That's in the right
that's
place,
next,
right?
yeah.
Okay. So we got a bunch of unsolved mysteries, or what? 2 actually. But there's some creepy shit. Did we get any other than these first 2 that we had?
No, we just got these first.
Okay. We can do this again probably every week.
Yeah,
though.
we should.
I want to talk about Elisa Lamb. Holy creepy Asian girl.
Yeah, no shit.
Nonverbal communication analysis number 2313 is what we've got here. Elisa Lamb video in an elevator at Cecil Hotel, what her body language tells us. So if you're not familiar with the Elisa Lamb case, would one of you like to describe it? I'd like you to describe it. What exactly do you see in this video? Now let's tell the whole story. First of all, this is a dead girl. She was found in the water tank shit, right? Like the water tower thing
Yeah,
of
the
a
water
giant
tank
hotel. Like,
on the roof of the hotel.
Right. So, by the way,
Sealed
you know,
inside.
You know for a while people were drinking dead body water, and that's horrible for you. That's
Yeah.
just really bad.
It was
yeah, I mean, you
days that she was in
guaranteed are gonna get really disgustingly sick from that, right? Like that if they used to put a dead body in a well in the Old West, because it would ruin the well for 50 years. You couldn't drink out of it.
19 days her body was in there before it was
Oh,
found.
dude! So people must have been drinking her.
I don't know if it
bathing
was
in
the
her,
drinking. Yeah,
showering
they
in
may
her.
have- Yeah, that's
Well,
probably
who
more
actually?
likely.
Yeah, who drinks out of the faucets at a hotel? That's true. But what about the fountains at the restaurant? You know what I mean? That's the main water supply, right? Like,
I don't
know.
Are we
she
sure
probably
that
was-
that's the same? What if that was just like the sprinkler system water or
Yeah, it
something
might
like
just
that?
be a different tank of water because it
Well,
doesn't say anything about.
I'm guaranteeing
people
that
eating
everyone.
her.
I'm guaranteeing that they all drank her. Whatever. That was a needless fucking road to go down. All right. So the body of Elisa Lamb, a 21-year-old Canadian tourist from Vancouver, was recently discovered in a water tank on the roof of the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles. It was in there up to 19 days. And there is a video that shows Miss Lamb in an elevator at the hotel. And this is an article about the body language analysis of the video that I have here. But first, why don't you set this up for us? How did this take place?
Well, she is spotted entering the elevator, and then she presses a bunch of buttons, right?
Yeah. And we put this up on the page for our listeners, right?
Yes,
A couple of listeners.
I'm trying to right now.
Yeah.
And she first she looks like kind of she's playing, and maybe she looks like she's playing hide and seek, and she's kind of bouncy and cheerful and stuff. But then it starts getting weird, and she gets on and off the
She
elevator.
looks like
a
she's
bunch of
jumping
times.
in there and she's waiting for somebody who might be looking for her.
Yeah.
And she's kind of
And
she's
she,
pressing a bunch of buttons. But see, what
And
strikes
then
me about it is
backing into the corner.
yeah,
and
wouldn't she pressing a bunch of buttons? You'd expect the elevator to take off. It almost seems like, you can interpret it as playful or extremely terrified and overly anxious. But according to this article, no, it was more relaxed and fluid. But anyways, go ahead and finish up what we've got on her.
Well, then she gets out of the elevator for a while, and she's in and out and in and out. But nobody knows why she was doing that, and she wasn't
Well, but she seems to be waiting for someone or anticipating something or whatever.
yeah.
And a few times almost looks like she can see someone or something, she
might be talking to someone who you can't see on the video.
And she almost looks like someone might come in and out of the elevator with her. At a second, it looks like she watches someone come in almost, but there's no one on the video.
Yeah.
So, she's got a history of bipolar shit and whatever, but nothing too extreme, right?
Yeah, that was the explanation they tried to give initially, was that
Yeah.
she had a bipolar episode and
But
was
nothing-
just losing her mind.
Nothing involving hallucinations in her past, right?
No, but they also they found her body in the water tank completely naked. It had been closed behind her. If she had just gotten in there, she had to have put the lid back on behind her. And they immediately ruled out foul play, which seems weird, doesn't it? They didn't even they were no, obviously this was she just did this, obviously. But then she didn't have any drugs or alcohol in her system.
My first theory. She meets a young man. Yes? He
Okay.
charms her. He says, there's no pool at this hotel, but I know where we can go swimming. Maybe they're drunk, you know? She wants to take the elevator. He knows there's cameras, all right? So she's running in and out going, why? Come on, let's go, let's go. And she's maybe pressing actually like the door open button to hold the elevator or something, but it just looks weird. Whatever, this is a theory, okay? So he's out there somewhere, and he's calling to her, you know, come on, let's take the stairs. And she's running back in and saying, no, I want to take the elevator. I'm a stupid drunk girl, and I don't listen to anyone. Like running in and out of the elevator, wants to have her way, like they all do. And he teaches her the lesson of a lifetime by forcing her well, listen, this is just a theory, by forcing her to go up the stairs because he knows he wants to do this. He's had this plan. He's like, oh, let's go skinny dipping in the fucking water tank. It's probably pretty big. He gets her to jump in first, and then he just grabs the lid and fucking closes it on top and jumps on top of it so she can't get out, and probably masturbates while he's doing it, sitting on there, and he's masturbating, listening to her pound her fists on the lid until she finally loses energy and starts to sink into the water, and that's when he climaxes.
Case solved.
What do you guys think of that theory?
Yeah.
It's the only explanation that makes any sense.
Well, that was just what I thought, and this article, I think, might even back me up. And this is a body language analysis. And where is this from, by the way? Bodylanguagesuccess.com. So that sounds like a pretty good site to get it from.
Yeah.
So the guy is saying here, when Miss Lamb initially enters the elevator, she is not in fear. Her wide arms swing and relaxed and fluid gait indicate she is relaxed and thus not feeling urgency, which I would agree with, having seen the video. After pushing multiple buttons, Elisa Lamb moves to the back left corner of the elevator, her arms at her sides and feet positions neutral, relaxed, and does not indicate fear. By the way, we forgot to get to where she turns into like some creepy fucking marionette and starts freaking out.
Yeah.
Because we left that out of the fucking story entirely. At one point, she like gets possessed and starts making a bunch of crazy hand movements, and she's all fucking weird. Like, that's what makes this story so compelling. I should have not laid out my theory so quickly, because now that I'm kind of creeped out again, because I don't think it could be so simple. Shortly thereafter, she looks quickly out the elevator door. She then retreats to the left wall of the elevator and moves to the left front corner. Her hands adopt the fig leaf configuration, and her feet are close together. This is consistent with anxiety, a lower confidence, beta emotional tone. This body language does not by itself indicate fear, but could, I guess, probably be accompanied with it. Here, Miss Lamb jumps out of the elevator, a quick two-step maneuver, and has a playful quality to it. For a second or two, her feet splay wide while her hands are still in the fig leaf, nonverbal or close to it. This wide stance signifies greater confidence and is not consistent with fear. Thus, the simultaneity of these two nonverbals signals some level of emotional dissonance. This is the most important image of the series. For about 16 seconds, she displays an elbows out laterally with armpit exposed and behind the head hair preening display. This was, at least for some time, performed bilaterally. The movement as she reaches up to begin the extended preen was fluid, slow, and deliberate, and the person of her interest is either present outside the elevator or she is actively thinking about this person. So that's when she's going all nutty.
Yeah, and she looks like, I mean, I feel at that point she looks really distraught. You know, she kind of turns around like, I feel like she's got her hands on her head like, holy shit. Not like, ooh,
Yeah.
look at me, you know?
This guy's saying it looks either lightheaded or like vertigo or a relative emotional extreme. So then she does like a bunch of hair adjusting and indicates she is trying to be more assertive or courageous. And this is in distinction to the sexual display noted above. Notice her elbows are not pointed out laterally, but held closer to her body. Her right hand gestures in an illustrator with a fingertip only touching her right chest. This hand illustrator suggests a lower sincerity and a higher level of anxiety after that. But if you watch the video, I mean, this guy's like breaking this down second by second, but if you watch the video, she is incredibly creepy as she's doing this. It's just not natural movement. Like, her right foot goes up on her toes. She does it several times. It indicates a significant level of excitement and optimism, also common with joy. At the very end of this video, her elbow briefly elevates up out laterally again in a shorter repeat of the sexual interest. So yeah, I mean, it kind of goes along with my theory, like she's got some guy around that she really likes, but he knows he wants to stay off camera, you know?
Yeah, now here's something that's weird, though, is that this video that was originally released was not in real time, which kind of contributes to her looking kind of more erratic in her movements. The video that was released was sped up, yeah.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm sorry, it was slowed down. The video that was released was slowed down. The real time was sped up 135%. So maybe that makes her look a little bit creepier because everything's a little bit slower and it's unnatural in that way, but it's just subtle enough that people don't notice it.
So it's really as though she's like talking to someone and making maybe some like flamboyant gestures and shit like that, but when it's slowed down, it looks more deliberate and creepy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, totally. So she's talking to someone off camera, most likely.
Yeah, that seems to be the most likely thing. There is I posted on the page in that article. There's a video that plays the two side by side, the real time and then the video that was released. And it's all really fucking creepy. Even at the regular speed, though, she still, like, looks... the movements still look erratic. Maybe just, like, not as calculatedly erratic.
Like, she's just manic and nutty.
Yeah.
But, yeah, not like that kind of, like, possessed look
yeah.
that she had before.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
She looks way more human.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I wonder why it would have been released that way.
I'm saying, easiest explanation, there's a guy who knows he wants to stay off camera. And she's, I swear to God, doesn't that seem like the most realistic explanation? He's going, let's take the stairs. And she's going, why? Come on. I want to, and he's going, no, it'll be nice. We'll do, whatever, fresh air or something. He scouted the whole thing out. Why have they not? See, cops are so stupid, dude. Cops are so bad at their jobs. They're so fucking terrible at their jobs. Even detectives are fucking retarded. How have you not gone, realized that that's the most likely thing and gone back to all the security footage and look for the guy who's walking around checking where all the cameras are? That's probably your dude. I'm saying a dude in his mid to late 20s who's some kind of weird killer who's going to be pretty smart and pretty good at this by now. He's not some young kid. He's probably not too old to attract a pretty girl like this too, you know what I mean? And she's like definitely in shape, decent looking broad. So he's I'm thinking that's the thing. What do you guys think?
That it definitely makes sense. Is it possible that they could really have just not explored that theory?
What's the official explanation?
There is none.
This is an unsolved mystery.
And where was this again?
That's a good question.
Yeah, because this is I don't think it was in the U.S., was it? Canadian tourist. Cecil Hotel. Oh, it was Los Angeles. Okay. Yeah. Wow. So I mean, that seems like to me that would be the first place I would think is like it's clearly a dude who whatever. So there's some new twist in this shit, and we got a video on it. You want to check it out?
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Totally. I put this up on the page.
Is this?
No, this isn't the side by side though. This looks like.
This is the new twist, meaning that it's this is in real time, right? Yeah, this looks a little more normal.
Right. See, right now it doesn't look like she's waiting for somebody. It sounds like looks like maybe she hears something.
Oh, now that it's...
Because she gets in there, pushes the button, and then stands there and waits like she's alone. And then she sticks her head out, and then she gets back in and kind of hides.
Yeah. Also,
yeah,
see,
you're right.
Like, she's not standing there.
She looks, and she gets back in, and...
Yeah, and tucks
Yeah.
away.
Why is the elevator not going?
Yeah.
See, this whole thing is very strange, man. I can see why this gets a lot of legs in the fucking online community is because none of this adds up.
Yeah, this
And
is
she's
all weird.
Yeah. And now she's looking
Now
and
she's
she's all
standing in the
closed
doorway.
up. And
She knows the elevator's not going to go for some reason. And in what elevator doesn't close now? Right now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, why?
I don't understand
she's
what's
standing-
going on here.
She's standing outside the elevator
square
for
dancing.
30 seconds or something, and the elevator door doesn't close. So the
Unless
elevator's
there's
like out of
somebody
fucking
there.
operation unless
There's somebody there who keeps pressing the button to keep it there.
who? An invisible person?
No, just someone out of the frame.
Oh. Perfect. Yeah, there you go. Somebody who keeps pressing them. But you know what? That doesn't work forever. If you've ever tried to hold an elevator in your life, you know that it's difficult, and eventually the doors just go like, "Fuck you, we have to go." You know.
Yeah, and now look at all the buttons.
She
she's
goes
pressing.
back in and she looks all stressed out.
Is it a cargo elevator? Because in that case, you can hold the door.
No, look how small the doorway
Okay,
is.
it's not a cargo elevator. Yeah, and it doesn't have any rails for fucking loading gear and shit.
No.
It kind of looks like it does have the wall bumpers
I
right
don't
there and
know.
right there.
No, that doesn't look like a cargo elevator.
It's
too
not big
small,
enough.
dude. It's too
Yeah.
small. And it's too fancy. It's got a liner around the floor and tile and stuff, you know?
What?
Hands are so creepy.
Yeah. And so now this is in real time that we're watching these hand motions. Looks like... Oh, it
She's
looks
kind
like
of like-
pleading. It almost looks like
she's-
pleading.
She looks like she's counting things off on her fingers. Like, first of all, you this, first of all, that, you know.
She's going, all right, so here's like...
Okay, first of all, it looks like she's got two elbows at that angle. Did you see that?
Her hands are... She's definitely making some very strange movements here. It almost looks
She's like
supernatural.
Edward
It really does,
Scissorhands.
doesn't
Yeah.
it? Like,
yeah.
God, I'm in and out of this because like it's so
Salad
creepy.
fingers.
Oh God, it looks creepy, but it could just be the camera angle and shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And the distortion of the angles and stuff, and like, and
That, though.
Yeah, it's just
just
like
very-
a cat being dipped into the water.
yeah, exactly. That is what she looks like. Yeah, yeah, totally. That's disgusting. Weird.
Maybe
and
she's just like hysterical or something. Maybe she's freaking the fuck out.
See,
and
right here, look, she's like,
she's
with
disoriented.
her fingers, she's counting 1, 2. Maybe she's listing reasons why she doesn't want to take the stairs.
You think that's what that is?
I don't know. I'm just
No,
going
Got
with your
asthma.
theory.
My legs are tired. There's an elevator right here.
I'm about to get murdered.
I'm not wearing the right shoes.
And then she's gone. And then the door opens and closes a bunch of times. That's fucking weird. And I'm a you know what though? Is this we don't know, like this could be like going up a floor and
Yeah.
then reopening or something. But it doesn't seem like enough time really, but
Yeah, and also, why is it just opening and closing to no
it's
people
just on a
anyway?
bunch of empty floors. I don't know,
Oh,
dude.
because you pressed all the buttons.
Oh yeah. Oh,
That's
so
what
she
it
pressed
is.
all the buttons so when it finally goes. So is the most likely explanation that somebody was outside the elevator that just kept pressing the call button so it would stay open? And maybe this elevator works that way? Because I'll tell you
Maybe.
that's not a good way to hold an elevator normally. You
No,
know?
you got to like put your hand
Especially
in it.
this looks like a big enough. This looks like this wouldn't be the only elevator, right?
Right.
It's probably
we
in
should
a
see how
com-
big this
yeah.
hotel is.
We'll see if it's a complex. I mean, because look, well, maybe no. It could be just a lone elevator. Man, that is fucking strange. That is very fucking strange. I'm thinking it was a guy who just knew
Yeah.
knew to stay out of the frame.
Maybe
you know?
there's like an employee who has
It could be an
access
employee,
to
dude.
a control room and it keeps the elevator doors open to draw her out or something like that.
Do we know what she was doing before she got there? Nobody knows. God, see,
And these water tanks, don't they have locks? Like,
you would
can
think
you just
yeah.
open up the water tank and put whatever you want in there? Like,
Couldn't get out, so it must have been one.
Well,
who's got a key? You know?
yeah, it must be an employee. That's what I was thinking a while ago, and I thought that was too far fetched. But I was like, what if somebody could disable the elevator and keep her in there?
It's fucking weird.
Also, The access to the roof was locked and alarm triggered. And the tank that she was in was 10 feet high.
It's an inside job.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
The guy was related to a cop.
So somebody must be on the trail. Can you write down that we need to follow up on this? Because I guarantee you, if we can look into this, maybe there's a motive somewhere. You know, is she somebody powerful's daughter? Some shit. You know what I mean?
One theory is that it's somehow related to an outbreak of tuberculosis in LA around the same time.
How does that relate?
Tuberculosis.
No, there's nothing. It's just a coincidence. That's all.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the mystery of Elisa Lam. Fucking freaked out outside of an elevator and then jumped in a water tank and died.
Supposedly.
In Los Angeles. We got
Stupid.
Write this down. We have to come up. I bet you, dude. I bet you there's a motive somewhere. She's connected to something. You know what I mean? There's something just very strange about that. And there's something almost like ritualistic about it seeming, you know? Like the pretty young girl, like drowning in the confinement of that. Like just such an inconvenient way to kill someone. You know what I mean? Like, no, why would you kill someone that way? And all of the inconvenience, and you've got to bypass the cameras. When she clearly came from outside the hotel where you can maybe have gotten her in a car or done something, you know what I mean? Anything more convenient than, like, bypassing cameras, security systems.
Having alarm triggered,
getting open a fucking water tank and getting her inside of it.
10 feet high.
And she had no blunt trauma, nothing. It just seems ritualistic to me.
Yeah, it sounds like a message to someone important to her.
Right. Exactly. Right. That's what I'm thinking. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does,
There's a reason people kill like that. It's usually to send a message.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So let's look into that. We're thinking the Elisa Lam thing is a message to somebody. And that's not all. We got another fucking disturbingly weird occurrence that happened.
Weird ass thing.
Yeah. What are we calling this? This was in Panama?
Panama, yeah. Missing Panama girls.
No, what the fuck is Panama? Some little piece of shit in Central America. Panama never does anything. What the fuck do they do?
They have the canal.
Yeah, they got the canal. That's it. They're just like a place where white people get killed, right?
Yeah.
That's about what happens there.
Their main import is white people.
It's just white people
and their main
getting
export
murdered.
is dead white people.
Aren't they also bananas? I think bananas.
Cocaine and dead white people.
Yeah, and bananas.
So where is this fucking thing? I must have this somewhere. Panama. Lizanne Froon, by the way,
worst names ever.
In the
These two
history
girls
of the world.
have the worst names ever. It's really
Lizanne
unfortunate.
Froon. Lizanne Froon and Chris Kremers. those are like Tim and Eric names. You know what I mean? That's like the names they would come up if they made this story up. Two Dutch women went missing in April in Panama, and they're now confirmed dead after a long time when people had no fucking clue what happened. Chris Kremers was 21, and Lizanne fucking Froon was 22. They were hiking near the town of Buquet on Buquet. I don't know how you fucking say that. Buquet on April 1st, when they were last seen, Policia said. The area is known as a popular tourist holiday destination. Kremers and Froon traveled on March 15th to Panama, where they first stayed in a different town for 2 weeks before traveling to Boquete after locals found out what their names were and tarred and feathered them and ran them off a cliff for having the worst names of all time. Once they got to... Yeah, thanks for that. All right. Once they got to Boquete, I don't know how to say it. What do you think? Boquete?
Boquete?
But it's a Spanish kind of country, so...
Boquete.
That's what I'm thinking.
Boquete.
Yeah, so whatever. They planned to volunteer at a school for the remaining 4 weeks of their trip. Once they got to this town, the women were told they would not be able to start their work until the following week, so they had a week to fill. The remains were found in Boca del Toro province in a dense wooded area last week. But so that's not really the meat of the story. So they went off hiking because they had this downtime, right? They weren't going to be able to work yet. So they go off hiking, and do you have the timeline pretty much down or what?
They let's see. They went hiking. April 1st was the day they disappeared.
Okay.
And when they found their backpacks, they saw that they tried to dial 911 on April 1st.
Okay. So they dial 911.
Along with photos, like sightsee photos of them. I posted a link to these pictures that they have.
And
So
they're
those
pretty-
pictures and the
they're pretty-
911 call were only 2 hours apart.
They look like decent looking girls. They'd be,
Yeah, they look pretty young.
They'd
They're,
be targets, probably.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah, for trafficking.
Yeah.
Then 10 days later, they found on the cell phone there was another 911 call 10 days after.
The first
Nothing
one.
happened for 10 days. No pictures, no phone, anything. And then they also found 90 more photos on the camera, which were all taken 10 days after April 1st.
After
as
the
well.
first 911 call.
Yeah,
And
so
what were
the
and-
second 911 call and the second batch of pictures came together.
And the first batch of pictures was all normal, hiking and happiness and whatever.
Yeah.
And then the 911 call, 10 days go by, nothing. Now another 911 call and a batch of pictures. And what was the second batch of pictures?
The second batch of pictures, 90 of them, let's see, 87 were completely black, and the other 3 showed fragments of branches and rocks,
Right.
and they have not been released.
Jesus
We're not
fucking
allowed
Christ.
to see those.
Why is that so horrifying that so many of them were pitch black? Because what was happening, they must have been getting thrashed around or something.
Yeah.
And it was just being taken accidentally, because the tragic end is they found a shoe with a foot in it and a piece of a pelvic bone of the other girl.
Yeah.
So they found one girl's foot and one girl's pelvic bone.
Piece of a pelvic. It's like half
and
of the
that's
pelvic
it,
bone.
right?
That's it.
How does that make any sense?
That's all of it. That's all of everything.
I mean, what was happening? That like, all right, now one thing I could think of. Can you find this out for me? Are there any like maybe uncontacted or little documented tribes that might be hostile in that area? Because like maybe if someone who didn't understand that technology got a hold of the phone, they could just keep taking pictures forever while they're while it's just blank or whatever,
Well, why would they have
Not like
done
they
it 10
knew-
days later? Why
Well,
would they have waited that amount of time? If
because
that's,
maybe they were hiding or something for a long time or whatever. I don't know. Or maybe they were captured and they got their phone back and then they got killed after they tried to escape and got their phone or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like-
How did the phone stay charged 10
again,
days
here's
after?
here's my intuition. Yeah, and how is a phone charged for 10 days? You're
Yeah,
right.
like the indigenous tribe doesn't have electricity, so if they were, it seems like they would have been held captive somewhere where there was electricity.
Okay, if you're smart and you're getting enclosed in on, you've tried calling 911, you've got no service. If you're getting captured by a tribe, you're going to turn your phone off. Right?
yeah,
If you're smart.
if you're smart, yeah.
Because you're not gonna want them to look at it and wear out the battery, and you want it to look unremarkable also, and yeah, I mean, that might be a thing you would do if you were getting captured. This might be totally a worthless conversation if we find out that there's no fucking like weird jungle tribes out
Yeah,
there.
there
but
are. There are a bunch, yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot on the interior of Panama. There's a bunch of hostile tribes.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'm thinking that's what happened.
could
Damn.
be.
What do you think?
I don't know. For some reason, I feel like they would have been trafficked. Is there a lot of drugs in Panama?
Not if they're contacted by
There's a-
like a hostile primitive tribe.
Right, yeah.
There's
well, and also
definitely-
not because
Yeah, there's
they
a lot
they
of
have
drugs.
foot and
There's
a-
definitely a lot of
Colum-
drugs.
It's between Colombia and Mexico.
Also, the canal. I mean,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
all of the
course,
trading that goes through there to avoid going around a whole fucking continent. There's so many drugs going through there.
Yeah. So then, like, why wouldn't they? I don't know. I just feel like it must not be somebody related to drugs because they probably would not have just murdered them outright like that. You know? I don't know.
Yeah.
Even if you turn your phone off, does the battery last 10 days later?
Here's the thing.
No.
Maybe. Yeah, why not?
I don't think so. Not if
It's
it's
just
like,
totally dormant. I don't know.
well, even if you turn it off, it still sends and receives data
Yeah.
always, no matter what. And if it's looking for something to send and receive from, it's going to use more battery than not. That's why when you go camping, your phone always dies.
So
real
what
fast.
are your possibilities in this case? You got, okay, maybe they had two different incidents, coincidence. All right, coincidental incidents, and they called 911 for something that was a false alarm. Spent another few days in the hotel, and then something else happened when they went back out. You know.
No, because then why were there no pictures on their cameras? They were
You don't take
sightseeing.
pictures every day.
Sure, when you're on vacation, you do.
Yeah.
They obviously were.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So fine. So that I'm just trying to brainstorm here. So all right. So that's no good. So
You're held.
What do you got?
All right, so you're held captive by people who have electricity.
Yeah.
And then a war between those people and the indigenous tribe breaks out.
That's another possibility. Or, okay, or say, because there must be drug cartels too, right? So here's our two possibilities: hostile tribes and drug cartels. Anyone got any other fucking possibility of how two white girls get torn to pieces?
A bear, maybe?
An animal?
Do you think a bear tried to dial
An animal
911?
attack? But then what? All right, so then how the pictures and the ten?
Yeah.
I mean, so the thing, like, you could,
Okay,
in your
all right,
death
so they
throes,
got-
like trying to dial 911, maybe your camera's open and you just keep taking pictures because you can't see what you're pressing. I don't know, maybe, right? Like that could happen in a. Let's throw the pictures aside because it doesn't matter, because it could be millions of different explanations.
Yeah.
So fuck the pictures. We got the two 911 calls, not 10 days apart. What were you saying? Was it
No, I don't know how to
Was it about the
explain-
pictures? Now
No,
I
no.
got rid of the pictures.
No, I'm just trying to figure out how to explain the fact that the battery was still functioning. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm thinking like even if an animal found the cell phone 10 days later and stepped on it and pressed redial, why was the battery still working? That's what doesn't make sense about it.
Yeah, it seems like they must have been somewhere where there was electricity to keep, so that the phone could still hold a charge 10 days later after the phone call. Like something happened in between the first one and the second one where that thing was able to be plugged in.
Yeah, but who the hell's plugging it in? The captors, and then they're not using it?
Did you look this up? I mean, I feel like maybe a turned off cell phone could go 10 days and get turned back on for a few minutes.
Maybe.
I think it could happen. I'm thinking it could happen because I'm thinking I've heard of this in other cases where they find a murder victim and they turn their phone back on or something, or I'm thinking it's
Well, I feel like I've gone on canoe trips for like just a couple days where I've turned my phone off, and then when I go back to it, when we get back to the car and try and turn it back on, I have to plug it in.
so we're
They could be walking around with one of those extra battery life pack things.
So here's what we got. We got wild animals, we got drug cartels, and we got hostile tribes. What else tears two white girls apart in the jungle in Panama? Maybe, I mean, is there a fucking a war going on? Is there any active fighting? Because like that's like a foot in a shoe. That's like grenade shit. That's not fucking Puma type of stuff. That's not that's not fucking Anaconda. What leaves a shoe in a foot? Semi truck hitting a kid on a bike, that leaves a shoe in a foot. You know what I mean? Shit like that. Like
a foot and a shoe.
Or I mean, a fucking shoe in a shoe in a shoe in a foot is worse, dude. Imagine that amount of force that takes. So, but no, a foot. Yeah, sorry, a foot. I said that like 4 times too. A foot in a shoe. That takes. I mean, that's like a shock force. I mean, usually that's like car accident, or something with just incredible power to sever. But is there any pictures of the foot in the shoe, and is it like a clean slice, or is it like
There
tears?
are, yeah.
Give me a picture of that and
Yes.
put it up on our page immediately.
I put a link to the article that it's in on the page already.
Okay, can I see the picture?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
Let me see.
Oh.
That's the foot in the shoe?
Yeah.
It's like Oh, so it's like already rotted by the time they found it. So it's kind of hard to tell. But no, that looks generally pretty fucking sliced, huh?
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
And that's the pelvic bone,
That's
and
the
the pelvic bone looks snapped. It's like it's not like ground or chewed or anything. It's like, and it's got little bits of flesh. It looks like an explosion or some shit, doesn't it?
Do you think?
Yeah. I mean, what else just rips a person just piece by piece apart? You know what I mean? Think about a shoe, because like also a thing that happens a lot in like blunt trauma to a human body is shoes fly off. So actually imagine you'd have to fucking have sheer force straight to the ankle to just shear it off and leave the shoe in the, you know what I mean? Leave the foot in the shoe.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I mean, that's pretty fucked up. It's got to be an explosion, right?
Yeah, let's see if there's like landmines in Panama.
Yes, landmines. There you go. But no. But then no, see, we're abandoning all the facts. Why the 911 call then?
Yeah.
And then why, you know?
Maybe one of them
Maybe they have a minor
landmine.
they have a minor accident with a landmine and they're trying to crawl their way out and they get completely obliterated.
One girl steps on a landmine and dies. That girl makes a phone call, but the landmine sets off the cartel, and they hear it, and then they come and investigate and snatch
And they cut
up
her
the girl.
foot off.
Well, no, the foot's a piece of debris from the first explosion.
Because they could cut, you know what the other thing is? They could cut her foot off to make her immobile, to make her their sex slave. So she could still be alive. She could be a
That's
sex
all they
slave
found of
somewhere.
her. That's right.
Just the foot. The pelvic bone girl, she's done. She's no
Yeah,
good to
I
anyone.
know.
So
Wait, the foot belongs to one, and the pelvic bone
belongs
to the other?
That's
Yeah.
what they think. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
I
they
mean-
did a DNA test.
Oh.
What?
Because you saw there was like still flesh stuck to the pelvic bone too.
Still some meat.
And also this says that Colombian rebels have been planting landmines in Panama since 2010 at least.
There you go. I'm thinking we got a landmine. That's
Could
what I'm
be.
thinking. I'm thinking we got a landmine.
Injured
Old
one of
Lizanne
them.
Froon, Chris Kremers stepped on a landmine down in Panama. That's what I'm thinking.
Old Chris Kremers.
Old Chris Kremers went kaboom. With a friend, Lizanne Froon.
That
I don't
makes a
know.
lot of sense.
Yeah, dude. That's my thing. That's what I'm going with
Blow
on
them to
this.
bits, and then animals just like pick up.
I'm
the
going
bits
landmine,
And the
and
cell phone.
you're in a jungle in Central America. Imagine, I mean, here's the thing, like in the tamest fucking ecosystem on the planet, you could argue that we live in here in the Midwest of the United States. There's
Yeah.
nothing going on.
No.
You don't see a dead animal in the forest ever, and I hike a lot. You do not see a dead deer. That shit gets taken away fast,
Yeah.
really, really fast. Might find a foot once in a while. And if deer wore shoes, I'd find a deer shoe, I'm sure, here and there, you know? And, but like, you don't find dead animals. They just don't. I mean, and imagine down fucking where it's warm all year round and animals are large and strong and predatory and there's scavengers everywhere and all levels of fucking insects and shit to break everything down, way more than there is here. Dude, they'd be gone in a matter of days. The whole body, right? Just eaten.
Yeah.
Landmine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think something happened with one of them where they were able to do something with their phone again.
Like maybe they survived for a while and then crawled onto another landmine.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude, this still doesn't make enough sense though, does it?
No.
It really doesn't.
It's
And all the
fucked up.
pictures and shit. What? Hold on. If
What?
not, hang on a second. Hang on a second. If they were hit by a landmine, okay, they survived. Maybe the girl who lost her foot, say, survived. She called 911. Shortly thereafter, died. Okay?
Okay.
Tribes picked up the phone. They took it away. The logical thing to happen, the most likely call to be made by someone who doesn't know how to use a cell phone is the last number that was dialed. So it could be anyone or anything. A monkey even might have dialed it.
Yeah, but
after
it
that,
doesn't-
You know? And the battery, I don't know. It could be easily explained. It was turned off and turned back on. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, most likely thing to happen by like some like primitive person or even a fucking
A monkey, which they would have there.
yeah, exactly, who picked it up and was curious, it would dial the last fucking number probably if
Yeah, it would
anything
start
was going to be
pressing
dialed.
buttons.
I'm thinking landmine, and one of them survived. Monkey picked up the phone. I don't know.
Yeah.
Started taking pictures. You know what I mean?
Well, there's a real famous instance of a guy got his phone stolen by a monkey, and the monkey took a picture of itself and posted it on Facebook. Like, they figure out how to use that stuff. Do you remember
Yeah.
that story?
Yeah, there was a whole argument over the copyright of the
Yeah,
photo.
who owned the photo?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Did the
man
monkey
didn't
own the
take
photo?
it. Yeah.
The monkey took the photo and posted the photo, and the fact that it was done on the man's phone didn't give the guy any right to claim ownership
No, and
of the photo.
I've seen 2 and 3 year old toddlers or infants play with phones and make stuff happen. You know, they get into Facebook or they take pictures or they fucking start playing a video game or some shit. You know, and it's like you could definitely have. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Landmine? We got this or what?
I think landmine is our
think
strongest
it's a very
contender
strong
right now.
possibility. Yeah.
Landmine, and then jungle's too hard to search. That's
Yeah.
that's
and
what
also
I'm saying.
full of animals that are
Full of
hungry.
animals. Nobody wants to go down there.
Yeah.
Fucking imagine the Panama police are probably a complete joke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Someone was like, these girls went missing. And they were like,
Yep, they sure did.
we'll look into it.
yeah.
After
you
our
give
cigar.
us $100,000.
After we smoke a cigar
Yeah.
on the porch of a villa at sunset. Drink rum.
That's what they sound like in Panama.
My accents are Russian.
Yeah, all
was
of
that
their accents.
Russian?
Yeah, that was no. It was kind of a
I was going for like Panamese.
yeah. All right, yeah. It was
Well,
that, whatever that
Lizanne
is.
Froon, Chris Kremers, can't say I'm sorry to see you go. You had shitty names, but you probably didn't deserve to be blown up by a landmine planted by Colombian rebels down there in Panama, which is what we're surmising took place. End of internet mystery. Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Solved it.
Solved. So, I think, are we like way overdue for a break?
Yeah, we're due for sure.
We are, right?
Yes.
Let's do one quick break, and then we'll come back and do the rest of our shit.
Okay.
Does that sound great?
Yes.
That sounds great.
Hell yeah. All right. Everybody, you are listening to the Sunday Evening Overdose. I'm going to take you out with a little bit of Charles Manson here, so please stick around. We're just going to play a couple of quick tunes and get right back into the talking. Thank you very much for sticking with us.
All right, I'll give you an example, man. I'll try to stick to a song.